What is it? Wait, what is it?
It's official. The woman who held Gas Monkey Garage together for years has finally broken her silence, and what she's revealing about the Fast and Loud cast will leave you speechless. Christie Brimberry wasn't just the office manager, she was the zookeeper trying to contain some of the most chaotic personalities in reality TV history. And now, after years of staying quiet, she's naming names and exposing the 5 people who pushed her to the absolute breaking point. This isn't just workplace drama we're talking about. We're dealing with nuclear-level revelations about behind-the-scenes chaos, devastating betrayals, and moments so explosive they ended careers on the spot. Christie saw it all, the meltdowns, the disrespect, the incidents that never made it to air. She was paid to manage wild personalities, but what she really became was a guardian protecting the Gas Monkey brand from complete destruction. The internet is buzzing because Christie's revelations aren't just gossip. They're confirmed insider accounts from someone who lived through every chaotic moment. Sources close to the situation say her testimony is backed by years of documentation, and what she's exposing could change how we see these reality TV stars forever. Nobody knew what to make of the chaos behind those garage doors, but now the truth is finally coming out. Let's rewind a bit to understand just how unprecedented this situation really is. Gas Monkey Garage wasn't just another car shop, it was a $1 million empire built on loud engines, wild personalities, and the kind of drama that made for perfect television. But behind all that manufactured chaos was one woman trying to keep everything from falling apart. Christie Brimberry. Christie came from a world of hard work and discipline. She learned her work ethic from her father, who ran an old-style meat market his whole life, and she knew what it meant to run a business seriously. She raised 6 children while managing one of the most chaotic workplaces in reality TV. This woman was no joke. She was the backbone holding together Richard Rawlings' entire operation. But here's what viewers never saw. Christie's real job wasn't managing schedules or handling paperwork. Her actual role was damage control on steroids. She was constantly putting out fires, managing egos, and protecting the Gas Monkey brand from the very people who were supposed to be building it up. Sources familiar with the garage operations say Christie was essentially running a daycare center for grown men with $1 million budgets and zero impulse control. The pressure was absolutely devastating. While Richard was out making deals and building his empire, Christie was back at the office dealing with personalities so volatile they could destroy everything with one wrong move. She had to balance project costs, manage impossible deadlines, and somehow keep the peace between mechanics who treated the garage like their personal playground. But that's not even the most shocking part. What really pushed Christie over the edge wasn't just the daily chaos. It was watching people she trusted completely betray everything she worked to build. We're talking about incidents so disrespectful, so catastrophically damaging to the Gas Monkey reputation that they ended careers instantly. Insiders claim Christie kept detailed records of every incident, every confrontation, every moment that crossed the line. She documented everything because she knew someday the truth would need to come out. And now, after years of protecting these people's secrets, she's finally ready to expose exactly who made her life a living hell and why they deserved everything that happened to them. Then came the nuclear moment that changed everything, and it all started with Tom Smith. In a garage full of big personalities, Tom wasn't just loud, he was a storm of pure chaos that Christie had to contain every single day. Sources close to Christie say one of her main jobs was literally just dealing with Tom's hyperactive energy that constantly disrupted the entire operation. But here's where it gets even darker. Tom's behavior wasn't just annoying, it was professionally devastating. Christie had to constantly remind him to use his inside voice or just leave the room entirely. She once joked that in a fight between Tom and an elderly ape, Tom would win because he would just talk so much the ape would run away. That wasn't comedy. That was her reality. Word on the street is that Tom treated Gas Monkey Garage like his personal playground while Christie was trying to run a serious business. His constant need for attention pulled her away from managing $1 million projects and tight deadlines. But all that daily frustration boiled over into something much worse. An incident so disrespectful it ended his career instantly. Here's what really happened. The incident involved Richard Rawlings' personal Rolls-Royce, one of his most prized possessions. A fan with cystic fibrosis came to the garage hoping to see the cars and get a picture. Tom Smith and another mechanic, Jordan Butler, let the fan get close to the Rolls-Royce for a photo. When Richard found out, sources say he went absolutely ballistic. According to people familiar with the situation, Richard reportedly screamed at the sick fan using terrible language to order him away from the car. When a manager confronted Tom and Jordan about allowing it to happen, instead of understanding the seriousness, they were completely insubordinate. They told the manager to chill out in the most disrespectful way possible. That was the final straw. A few hours later, after a heated confrontation, Richard fired them both on the spot. For Christie, this wasn't just workplace drama, it was the ultimate betrayal. Her job was protecting the Gas Monkey brand and its public image. An incident involving a sick fan and the owner's prized car was a public relations disaster that made the garage look cruel and unprofessional. Tom's carelessness created a mess that Christie had to clean up, showing complete disrespect for the business she worked so hard to build. But that's not even the most shocking part. The chaos of Tom Smith was finally gone, but his firing left a gap that would soon be filled by an even bigger problem. The most important person in the entire garage was about to cause a crisis that would shake Gas Monkey to its core. Aaron Kaufman was known as the Bearded Wonder, the master mechanic who could turn rust into art. He was, as Richard himself admitted, the nucleus of Gas Monkey Garage. But behind the scenes, sources say the pressure of fame was taking a devastating toll. The garage had become a TV set, and Aaron grew tired of it all. Here's where the betrayal gets even deeper. In 2017, Aaron made a decision that stunned the car world. He walked away from Gas Monkey Garage completely. To the public, it looked noble. But for Christie, his departure was pure abandonment. It was a selfish decision that threw the entire operation into chaos and landed the mess squarely on her desk. People familiar with the situation say Richard admitted Aaron's departure came completely out of left field, and that moving forward without his talents would be painstaking. That painstaking process became Christie's new reality. She was the one managing schedules, parts orders, and workflow of a garage that had just lost its most important member. If you're finding this as shocking as we are, make sure to hit that hype button and give this video some points, because what's coming next will absolutely blow your mind. The deeper we dig into Christie's revelations, the more devastating this story becomes. The scramble to fill Aaron's void was immediate and absolutely chaotic. They brought in restoration expert Jason Acri temporarily, but after Aaron left, he was asked to stay permanently as shop foreman. This showed just how unprepared they were for Aaron's exit, creating a massive logistical and morale crisis. Sources close to Christie say this was profound frustration on a whole new level. Aaron talked about personal and professional differences, hinting at bad blood behind the scenes, but whatever his reasons, the result was the same. He chose his creative freedom over the stability of the team he helped build. While fans mourned their favorite mechanic, Christie had to manage the reality of his absence. She had to keep the business running while its foundation had been ripped out. Aaron may have been a genius with cars, but in Christie's eyes, he was the man who walked away when his family needed him most. This isn't just about workplace drama anymore. What Christie's revelations expose is a systematic pattern of betrayal that goes far deeper than anyone realized. The timing of these departures reveals something truly disturbing about the reality TV industry and how it chews up the people trying to hold everything together. Then came the most devastating blow of all. Casey Matthew, the master painter and quiet artist who gave Gas Monkey's creations their soul, decided to step away from Fast and Loud in 2015. His reason? The constant attention and pressure of filming had worn him down. He chose a quiet life over fame and fortune, a decision that would haunt Christie in the most personal way possible. Here's what makes this absolutely heartbreaking. Casey left in 2015 because the show's pressure was too much to handle. Just months later, in October 2016, Christie's world was turned upside down when she was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. While Casey was enjoying the peace of his own shop, Christie was preparing for the fight of her life. Sources familiar with Christie's battle say she had to undergo chemotherapy and life-altering surgery to remove a cancerous lymph node. The procedure was devastating. A nerve to her larynx was cut, leaving her with no voice for months. She had a tube in her throat and faced a recovery that could take 6 months, all while still being a mother to 6 children and managing one of the busiest garages on television. Think about that for a moment. Casey walked away because the stress of being famous was too much. At the same time, Christie was facing a life-threatening illness, the ultimate stress, yet she had no choice but to keep going. She couldn't just quit, she had a family to support and a business that depended on her. The broader implications are staggering. This exposes how reality TV creates impossible situations where the people holding everything together are expected to sacrifice everything while the stars get to walk away whenever it becomes inconvenient. Christie fought through pain, fear, and silence, eventually returning stronger than ever. But watching key team members leave because the job was too hard must have been absolutely infuriating. Casey had the luxury of choosing a quieter life, a choice Christie didn't have. He got to escape the very chaos she had to endure while also battling cancer. But the most explosive revelations are still coming. Sources close to Christie say her breaking silence about these 5 cast members is just the beginning. Word on the street is that she's been documenting everything for years, and what she's revealed so far barely scratches the surface of the chaos behind those garage doors. The ripple effects are already being felt throughout the reality TV industry. Insiders claim other long-suffering crew members and managers are now considering coming forward with their own stories. This could be the moment that changes everything. When the people who really make these shows work finally get their voices heard, what's coming next could be even more devastating. Christie's revelations about Scott McMillan and the Misfit Garage betrayal are reportedly just the tip of the iceberg. But the biggest bombshell of all? Her thoughts on Richard Rawlings himself, the man who created the chaos she spent years trying to control. The truth is finally coming out and nobody is safe. Christie Brimberry held Gas Monkey Garage together through impossible circumstances, and now she's making sure everyone knows exactly who made her job a living hell and why they deserved everything that happened to them. The real question is, who else will she expose next?